Ready, set, go.
Welcome to the Sweet Spot, an Up Dog podcast. I'm Andrea Morissette.
And I am Jack Bailey, and this is
Bailey.
And
we are your hosts today.
We are your hosts today, and we have a pretty relevant topic today, right, Dre?
I think it's very time relevant. We're going to be talking about UPDIF today.
And
so we're going to be reviewing,
We just thought we would give you the founders, the three of us anyway. And last night we had our team meeting. So we really have all six of our reflections on UPDIF 2025 that we want to share with you. And next week, you guys know that you have a survey out there. Get your comments in that survey, because next week we're going to be looking over some of the survey comments, and we are going to share with you, anonymously, of course. We won't call out anyone. But we're going to share with you guys the survey results and let you know, like, hey, what were the competitors' reflections on UPDIF 2025? So, anyway,
Yep.
You ready to jump into it, Dre?
I'm definitely ready to jump into the founders' reflections of UPDIF. And to start us off, for me, this was the best UPDIF we've ever had as far as organization, the location. It was really impressive. So I just wanted to start out with, like, from my perspective, I was very proud arriving there and seeing the facility that we had and all the details that we had worked out this year. I really think this was the best UPDIF yet.
I mean, for me, I would say this is the best UPDIF as well. And for me, that statement all comes out of Saturday, and we'll get there. But you guys that were there know what I'm talking about. But we'll get there. Let's start at the beginning. But it all comes up. My thoughts about it all definitely come out of Saturday.
All right, so we're starting with our drive up there and our Monday prep. So tell me a little bit about that.
I mean, for us, the big event Monday, actually it was Sunday, right? We drove up Sunday.
I drove up Monday.
And we were an hour outside of Tampa, an hour north of Tampa, and it was raining. And Cody was pulling the cargo trailer, and Kat and I were behind in the van, and got a phone call from Cody. Hey, I just blew a tire. And we were like, I don't know, 30 seconds behind him. So we pulled over, and again, it was pouring rain, and unfortunate, like, location. It was just over like a hill. So, like, as you go over the hill, then all of a sudden there's Cody and the trailer. So we pull over quickly, put the flashers on. And that was kind of scary. Because, like, you're on the interstate, people are zooming by at 70 plus miles an hour. Yeah. It's rainy. Who knows who's on their phone and, like, maybe swerving a little bit in the lane. And we had the trailer packed so tight, it was heavy. I pulled out the jack that I had for the van and put it under the trailer. And, like, the jack was just like, nope, can't do it. Like, it lifted it up like this far off the ground, and that was it. And so we're like, man, what are we going to do? And luckily, a road ranger came by. In Florida, we've got these guys that kind of cruise the interstates called road rangers, state funded. And, man, this guy was a blessing. He pulls up, puts his big freaking light bar over, with the arrow pointing over, put up the cones. He had a big floor jack. And so he pulled his floor jack out, and that couldn't lift the trailer either.
Oh, no.
We had to get both jacks under the trailer, and, like, Cody would do one pump, I do one pump. And it was like boop, 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 boop. Like, we slowly got it up enough to pull the tire out. And I mean, another godsend was next exit north. So, like, literally once we got the tire swapped out, which that was fun. We're idiots, Cody and I, because we packed the trailer. It's got a spare tire in it. And we left the spare tire where it was, which was like halfway into the trailer.
Yeah.
It's got like a nice little bolt on the side of the wall. But that meant we had to take half the crap out of the trailer in the rain to get to the tire.
And I wouldn't even think of that. In a trailer, I wouldn't think, like, hey, let's move the spare. I would never think that.
Well, do it.
Now you will.
Yeah, half the UPDIF stuff is on the side of the interstate.
Getting rained on, and it was just, I mean, we had another group from Florida that was driving up that day. They stopped to see that we were okay, which was awesome, you know. But anyway, next exit up, there was a tire store. We pull in. The lady at the front desk was amazing. I told her what was going on. She had one of her guys stop working on the vehicle that they were working on. They went out right away, looked at the trailer. We got 4 brand new tires on it, which all they had was 4, which was perfect.
Oh, that was perfect.
And they got us back on the road like within like an hour and a half, something like that. If that, yeah. I mean, so anyway,
Adventurous day, but no major cost other than, you know, you got 4 new tires, which is good to get on a trailer anyway, but
and we
a
bought
whole lot of anxiety.
And we bought a new jack.
And we bought a new jack. So that way, if it happened again, we could
Is this one strong enough to actually lift up the trailer?
Yeah, I asked Cody, I'm like, how many tons do you think I should get this jack for? And he's like, oh, I don't know, probably like 5 ton would be good. So I got a 12 ton because I'm like, I want this to just like go right up when I
12-ton jack look like. I don't even know what a 12-ton jack looks like. Can we fit it in there?
It's not that big.
No, it was just a bottle. We got a bottle jack. But anyways, that was our excitement for Sunday.
Well,
and then
our first part of excitement for Sunday.
Yeah, then of course anybody that was at UpDiff knows that we were kind of dodging tornadic weather.
Sunday night.
A couple nights there, yeah, and like so Sunday night there were tornadoes coming into. Well, there was a tornado warning coming into Decatur and high winds and rain and stuff like that. So we actually stopped about an hour south of Decatur,
south, yeah.
And stayed in a hotel. And the lady there was awesome. The manager wasn't in, and so we're like, "Yeah, do you take dogs?" And she's like, "Sure." And it's like, you know, how many? What's the cost?
That's the answer.
Like,
sure.
She's like, well, I don't know, like $10 sound okay? And we're like, sure. And so it was $10 for all the dogs. And it was an econo lodge. It wasn't like anything great, but I mean, it wasn't bad either. I mean, it was clean. So
most importantly, it was a concrete building with a roof as opposed to us staying in
tornadoes. Right.
Yeah. So we got really lucky on the way coming up. Anyway, so that was Sunday. Monday prep. I mean, we got to the fields. They were soaked.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually, like, our tent people were supposed to get there at noon, but we were asked by the parks people if we could hold them off because the tents are heavy, all the equipment's heavy, and they didn't want them dragging that through the wet grass and causing ruts. Right. So basically the tent people showed up around 2:30ish, started putting up tents. The awesome thing was when we did arrive, we saw that all the fields were painted. And it was so cool to look down like one lane of like you could look at the sidelines of one of the fields. And so there was 4 fields in a row. And the sideline was freaking dead center on all fields. I'm like, yeah.
They painted it all for us, huh?
Yeah, they painted it. And I'm assuming they must have had like a robot paint it because
well, if it's a soccer field, they have equipment for all that does it, yeah.
Yeah, they were perfect. It was great. It was great. And then by the end of the evening, like our folks that were painting sweet spots got there. We had lights, which was amazing this year to have lights for the field.
That saved our bacon.
It really did, yeah. And the sweet spots were awesome. We had Hope did one of the sweet spots that she was the one that did it on the fireball field. Heidi did one that was on it was field 2. And she did the one with like the Jetsons and Scrappy, which was great. Melanie Smith did the one with Marvin the Martian, and then Gabby did the sweet spot one. Like, they did an amazing job. Like, it was great. And so a lot of them started anyway. I don't know if they knocked it out Monday or Sunday night, but started Monday and maybe finished up Tuesday. So that was our Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, really, kind of, for prep anyway.
Yeah, I shopped on Tuesday.
That's right. Yeah, you went to Walmart and you grabbed pools.
Yeah.
and
Drinks and
which is
water and protein
something
bars
that
and
not
snacks.
something we typically need, but we looked at the forecast. We knew we were going to need pools, right?
Yep. Yeah, so I actually did it different this year. Not like it's that interesting, but I placed the order online Walmart, which was kind of fun, and then went and picked up the big order afterwards. So that was fun on Tuesday. It's usually my shopping day to get all the judges' supplies and whatever other supplies people need for the week and kind of make a plan for setup. So that was my exciting Tuesday. I went shopping,
So
set up
then
the art garage.
Tuesday afternoon, of course, into the evening, we had Fireball and then Cosmic.
Yep.
Um, Fireball was great because a lot of people that wanted to learn how to judge came up and shadowed me, shadowed some of the other judges there, asked a lot of questions while the game was being played. So it was a nice little workshop kind of format.
Mhm.
And although at the end of Fireball, that was the first indication that we needed to be cautious of the grass because you know how Fireball is. Every single person throws from the same
That one little corner.
that
Yeah,
one
so
little
it's all
corner of the
worn down.
field, and we had how many hours of Fireball? 4 hours of Fireball. 4 hours of Fireball, and that spot right there where they went around was pretty worn down, and I was
I
like,
wonder,
okay,
I wonder
let's
what we could do about that because that would be an issue anywhere going forward, especially with rain.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
We're gonna space
the
out it and make them start from different locations, different
well,
corners of the.
the nice part is that we did have multiple fields, so we could have shifted over. Like we could have done it 2 hours and then shift over to another field and do 2 hours so that it's not all on that one field, especially on Tuesday because all the fields were open.
Right.
So the idea of having the auxiliary fields ended up being something that obviously we had to use on Saturday, but it gives us the option of like if something's getting worn down, like
Mm,
shifting over one so that we can use a different field.
yep.
I mean, next year we'll be playing Fireball for real and it'll take up 2 or 3 fields, so may
We
not have
won't have that issue. Yeah, we won't have that option. So
The best
that's
we could do is start Fireball on the 3x3 farthest to the right and then
True.
that's a good
scoot it
idea.
over.
True. We could shift it because we've got a full field. That's a good idea, Kat.
Good idea, Cat. Problem solved. Click treat.
Yep. And then the other thing that kind of happened that was good because of the rain, because they were supposed to mow on
Morning.
Monday morning,
Right.
and they didn't get to mow, which actually I think helped us and helped save their field a little bit because the grass was a little bit longer.
Longer, yeah.
And so it's going to withstand a little bit more traffic and, stuff. So
Better
that
grip
worked out
gloves.
okay. And I mean, I looked at the fields before we left on uh Monday.
Sunday.
That was it was Sunday
Sunday.
after the banquet, yeah. So
Yep.
we went by there and I looked at the field. I thought throw and go would have damaged the fields, but there wasn't really
I didn't see anything.
that much wear on throw and go. The only stuff that it kind of damaged the field a little bit were a couple areas by the store and the vendors where they had left stuff maybe a little bit too long. The grass had yellowed, and there were just a couple areas where it looked like maybe somebody didn't move their crates as well as they could have or something like that. Um, Nothing that I'm hoping nothing that they're gonna say, yeah, we don't want you back. And I haven't heard anything like that so far. It's been good. And there were only a couple little spots. It wasn't
Yeah, it
like
looks so good. It was urine
yeah,
spots mostly is what I saw, just urine
yeah.
stains.
It wasn't like I've seen sometimes at contests where like if you leave your ground mat down for 3 days and then you pick it up, it's like
Oh,
literally like all the grass
yeah.
is dead.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything like that, which is good. All right. Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to go off on the grass thing.
So Tuesday,
Oh yeah,
Fireball.
Cosmic. So I think Cosmic was pretty cool. It was unique.
Yeah.
Got great
Um,
reviews in the survey. Like people loved it.
yeah, a lot of people said a lot of nice things. That I mean, the biggest thing about Cosmic that was kind of unfortunate is, you know, we only had 2 hours, so we could only take so many people. Um, Perhaps in future years, especially if we go back there,
With
um, I
light.
think I think that they would trust us to stay later. We didn't get rowdy, you know, it wasn't a rave or anything like that. And I think that they just didn't quite know what to expect from us, and so they were like, "Yeah, you need to be out by, you know, 10:30 or whatever it was." But I kind of feel like if we come back, they'll be a little bit more lenient perhaps with the times, or we could do it a couple nights if people really liked it. But it seems like people really liked it and thought it was fun. So
Yeah, I think if anything, more people wanted to play. People wanted
right.
more time to play. They missed the pairs games, that kind of stuff. So I think if anything, we could do, if we have the lights, right? We could do a few different evening activities, maybe when we don't have banquets, or we have some kind of under the lights game. Either it's, human pairs or cosmic up dog or a new game test or whatever. We can do a few nights like that for nighttime activities instead of, going off site for, we did used to do scavenger hunts and stuff like that. Instead of going off site, maybe we could do some more nighttime games if we have the opportunities. I mean, the field lights were gorgeous. It was so nice out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously that's going to be 2027 because
Right.
2026
Don't have
we got
lights.
no lights, guys.
So no
Uh,
Cosmic Up Dog or Disc Dog Con over under the lights next year. But we
well,
do.
I mean, we could do Cosmic. For Cosmic, we need no lights, which we have.
Well, yeah, I guess we could do that. We could do an extended Cosmic in the dark. Everybody just
We'll have to ask,
flashlight.
we'll have to ask permission.
Yeah.
We did not broach the subject of Cosmic Up Dog when we talked to them, so we'll
Yeah.
see.
And by
All
the
right.
way, if anybody wants to like get Cosmic Updog like at their local venue, like at their local club, I think that's what Ron and John want to do is they want to try to bring that to people. They've got all the equipment. So if that's something that you're interested in, like reach out to them and um they'll try to make that happen. All right.
Thursday.
Wednesday we had Far Out Boom, and then in the evening we had the podcast. What were your thoughts about Wednesday, guys?
It was windy.
It was windy. I really thought that it wouldn't be a roller year because of the way the wind was coming, but it
I
turned
know,
out to be
man.
the exact opposite.
It did. I
I was
was
like,
excited
oh,
to hit a big downwind.
it's a crosswind. Like it was supposed to be a really strong crosswind. I'm like, oh, that's just going to knock everything over. But alas, rollers were king this year. So,
Well, and the grass, I mean,
yeah.
the
It
rollers
was
just kept
fast.
rolling and rolling and rolling. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I think part of it too, like some of the issues, and it could be, I think it could be contributing factors. We have a lot of borrowed dogs. So like I'm just getting into the nerdy part of like of disc dog play, but I noticed that for the big air throwers that were throwing very well, the dogs weren't getting them because they weren't leading out. Like a dog can catch that crosswind was beautiful for long throws. I saw beautiful throws happening. The dogs just couldn't get to them. Right? So that could be a borrowed dog thing. Like if you're not used to like having your dog lead out really far with an experienced thrower, that's a trained behavior. So I think that we could have gotten more in-air catches, but I think most of the big throwers that were throwing in-air catches were using borrowed dogs.
Yeah, getting that timing right,
Connection
stuff
isn't
like
there.
that.
Yeah, it's a
I
lot
can
harder when you have a
attest,
crosswind.
I can attest to a lot of borrowed dogs just because of making the running order. Like I make the running order
Mhm.
based on what works for the handler and the dog, and then people email me like, well, I have to hold the dog, but I'm on this field at this time, and I'm like, look, I'm
Mhm.
not like
I'm not
psychic,
responsible for your holding. I don't
right?
know.
I'm responsible for the handler and the dog. If you borrow the dog and you need the owner to
Yeah.
come hold them, that's for you guys to figure out.
So
Like
that's my theory because
I'm not
that
that
crosswind was
magical.
really nice. That crosswind was really nice for righties. And I saw several of the big arms cranking out to over 80 and the dogs just weren't getting there. So again, if it's your dog and you're practicing far out, you're practicing the dog leading out to 30 or 40 yards before you're throwing. Why wouldn't you in this format? Like you
Right.
don't have to throw before the line. That's the easiest way for the dog to catch. So I thought that it was just like, one of those little caveats about whether it's your dog or whether it's a borrowed dog or not. That's one of those things. A roller's going to be easier for the dogs to catch.
Yeah. Yeah, and I
Boom, just
get
like with the wind, everybody struggled with the
Yeah.
into the wind crosswind, into the wind downwind, into the wind downwind for that boom field.
I get why the far out is probably the game where we have the most borrowed dogs though too, because it's a limiting game. Like I experienced this. It's a limiting game. I know I can only throw 60 yards. I'm not going to be competitive,
Right.
in any division. And but if I want to see Spice race down the field and catch an 85-yard bomb or whatever, I'm going to hand him off to Gary, and it's really cool to see your dog like chase down that big,
Yeah.
throw. So I totally get it, but I think that you probably are onto something with the timing and the experience between the dog and handler. If they don't have that practice, it's gonna be a
Yeah.
lot harder to get the air throw than the roller.
And now we're back to that conversation of should we have two different divisions? Because I know that was mentioned a couple times on the survey. Should we still have, and we do have the separate awards, right? The best roller, the best in air throw, but you know, people might want completely separate awards
That
still for
sounds like
the
another
two.
another podcast topic.
Does.
Let's save that one.
Yeah,
Shelve
sure.
that one. That's a good topic.
Yeah, so I think people struggled in Boom with the wind on Wednesday. It is one of our more challenging accuracy games because of the cross field, depending on how the wind goes. And that just happened to be our windiest up diff day. So I kind of expected people to not be super happy about Boom. As I was, reporting in and hearing back, pretty much everybody was struggling on the Boom fields. So that makes sense. Do you have anything else for Wednesday?
Well, then we had the podcast,
Oh,
Cumulative and best average
which
award.
yeah, I think it was nice we had a good group. It wasn't as big as, what we had for the Rocket Museum or anything, but I think we had 150 some, 180 or something like that.
Sounds about right.
But anyways, I liked it. It was kind of more laid back. We had trivia first thing when people came in, and then we had the cumulative awards.
yeah.
Um, the podcast, I think it
Wait,
was, I think, I think we
I'm
had
so
like,
tired, bro.
I think we had like 15 hardcore fans that stayed
Yeah,
for that, but it was
it
it was
was way
late.
past my bedtime.
Yeah, it was late. I mean, I really appreciated the our guests that agreed
Panel.
to do it, the
Yeah.
panel. Um, but well,
It would
we
have been great
will.
as when people were walking in. If we were doing it live as at like the beginning when everybody was doing their sticker trading and all that stuff, I think it would have been good energy for the room and we wouldn't have all been half asleep because that time anyway was like everybody was socializing.
Yeah,
So we could
yeah. I
have we
think
could have gone in, set up the podcast, had it all ready to go, and then as soon as we come in, we kind of just start it. Where the setup of the podcast ended up putting us about 45 minutes late starting the podcast, and by then almost everybody was gone. And it
yeah.
was pretty
One challenge we had all week long for the banquets and extracurricular activities is like for instance, anybody that's been with us at Cadiz or at Helen, the uh the banquet hall
we're
is
there
on
on
site,
site.
and
Yeah.
it's only like a 5-minute drive down the road, and we're able to, and we usually have that banquet site for the entire week. Like we
Right.
have that room, so we can
Go back to the
unload
same thing.
all of this stuff off of our trailer, get all the sound system, the lighting, anything that's needed, get that off the trailer into the room. And we didn't have that luxury this year because Wednesday night we were at Crystal Gardens.
And
Then
Thursday,
Thursday
yeah,
night
Friday,
we were at the
yeah,
Rocket Museum. And then then Saturday we were supposed to be back at Crystal Gardens, but that's a story for when we get to
I'm gonna
Saturday.
get some of that part of the
And
list.
and then we were back at Crystal Gardens on Sunday. So it was a lot of like back and forth, which ended up like many times. Well, Dre, you were helping us out multiple
Yeah.
nights where, you know, after we
Late
got
night
done in the
setups and
field,
tear
we had to
outs.
go to this place, pick up the stuff, then go to this place and drop off the stuff. And there was a lot of back and forth, which hopefully we minimize that next year because that was,
I mean, I
I
think the
got,
Rock Museum is really what kind of threw the wrench in that, but that was worth it. I mean, that was a spectacular event. Potentially, we could have done it on Wednesday as our first one, maybe instead, and then had all the rest of them at the same location. It might have helped with logistics, but I think the main issue was having that different location kind of squeezed in the middle there. I don't know if Crystal Gardens, if we could have left our stuff in all that storage in that storage room and just kept doing it all there and leave the light set up and for the whole
we
week.
could have, we initially did think about doing the Rocket Center on Wednesday, but not everybody shows
We're
up for
gonna
that
be
first
there.
day.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to, like, it was such a cool venue that we wanted to give as many people the opportunity to
Yeah.
experience that as possible. So we pushed
Yep.
it back to Thursday, which I think was good because we did get a good crowd
We got a
there. And
really good group here.
also for our sponsor, you know, I mean, in reality, like if Purina is going to sponsor, they want to sponsor on one of the nights that, you
A lot
know,
of people
that
showing
the
up.
most people are going to be there.
Thank
Um,
goodness we didn't make that Saturday night.
right. Yeah.
And we'll
Yeah,
talk more about that when we get to Saturday. But I just thought of that. I was like, well, putting it last would have helped too, as like the biggest banquet, but thank God we didn't do that.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, so many things just worked out. Like I said, we are really fortunate, and so many things just happen to work out well. So anyway, let's jump to Thursday. So Thursday we started with freestyle. We had spaced out time warp, and then we had the evening event at the Rocket Center. Um, what are y'all's thoughts?
Well, I mean, for Thursday, first day, I'm going to talk about freestyle because that's my favorite part of UpDiff. So I was really excited to start the performance rounds on Thursday. We did do a different format this year. We changed up the format quite a bit, and we'll continue to do so to give our players the best freestyle experience that we can. But I love the performance round. So it was really fun for the first time to do the live stream and not have to judge, which was, I mean, I love the judging part also, but it was really nice to not judge this year, not judge freestyle and be able to do the live stream. I think next year we can step up some of the audio for the live stream, some of the setup, that kind of stuff. We were just testing it out. But we got some good feedback. So freestyle was super fun. I was really excited to see everybody's themes and costumes start up and kind of light up the energy for the rest of the event. I didn't see any spaced out time or time warp because I was at the freestyle field all day long. So I don't know how those games went at all.
Any thoughts, Kat?
I thought Thursday went really well. We scheduled it to where all the other games ended by 3. Freestyle ended by 4. That way we could get to the Rocket Center on time. So that all worked out really great. I mean, it just so happens that I staffed for a bigger UpDiff for this year, and we ended up having a slightly smaller UpDiff than the previous year. So I was able to spread out our judges across multiple fields. So
Yep.
that wasn't the plan originally because we didn't even know we were going to the Rocket Center.
Right.
It just all kind of like,
Worked out.
nicely fell into place that we were able to do that. I know someone made a comment on the survey already about, oh, well, it would have been better to have longer days versus 4 shorter days, but that wasn't the plan. Like the only reason we were able to do that is because I had staffed for a
Longer
full
day. Yeah,
long
it's supposed
days.
to go past 3 or 4 p.m.
Right.
We've
So
grown every year.
so
And
while
I
it
think,
while it looks like we, had shorter
it's
days and all
early.
this, it just worked out that way. That was not the intention, and it could totally change, another year. But anyway, so that part worked out really well. Everyone was able to get to the center on time. Everyone loved the Rocket Center.
Yeah, that was a win.
Yeah.
Almost too nice, man. Like we were like,
Right.
we're at a disc dog event. Like this, it was theme park quality.
So what?
It was amazing.
It was kind of funny. Obviously, I got there early. I was there at like, I don't know, like 4:30 or something. I packed up all the dogs in the van, packed up all the awards and everything, and headed over there. And I came straight from the field. So I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt. I probably stunk. My hair was all kind of messed up. I'm wearing a hat. And I meet the guy who I've been, who's been our contact and our support the whole time. He meets me at the side. And of course, he's in like a sport coat and nice
Yeah.
pants and shirt and everything. And then I'm
NASCAR.
walking up, and everything looks really nice. And there's like real plates, and everything looks good. And I'm bringing stuff in, and he's talking to me about, I'm going to connect you with the sound and light person. I'm going to connect you with this person for food and drink, blah, blah, blah. I'm meeting all these people. He's helping me get everything in. And at one point, we're walking in, and he's like, and I'll show you where our dressing room is downstairs so that you can change for the event. And I'm like,
You're
what
just
what are you
I
saying,
am
sir?
changed for the event.
What do you, this is what I'm wearing.
You have a shower?
Right. I'm like, this is it. And pretty much I wouldn't have had time anyway. By the time I got everything set up and stuff, people started showing up, and that was that. But
Don't
I mean,
worry, I took a
that's
shower, Jack.
that's us, that's just doggers. And I mean, I think everybody, most people had a chance to at least throw on like
Yeah.
a clean t-shirt or whatever. So,
I actually got to take a shower and put on
Yeah.
my,
well, la di da.
Because you went and set up, thank you, Jack. We were able to shower and put on clean clothes before going. I was not going to be standing up in front of all those people with my sweaty, nasty clothes on from all day long at the Rocket Center. It was way too
Yeah.
cool.
But I mean, obviously, I had a lot of stress leading up to that day just because just in my head, I wanted it to go well. I wanted it to go right. And so obviously that's why I wanted to get there early and just get everything set up. But yeah, I was super thrilled with it. I just thought we're that close to Huntsville. We have this theme called Updiff is out of this world, or Updog is out of this world. Why would we not want to try to go to the Rocket Museum?
Right.
So, and Purina made that happen. It
big.
would not have happened without Purina. Not to get too sappy or anything, but like I know from working with elementary school and putting on competitions, the venue makes a difference. It makes a lasting impression on people. And I know when we have this competition called Math Bowl, and there's been a couple years where our budget has been not great or non-existent, and we've done the Math Bowl like in
A gymnasium at a high school.
somebody's gymnasium at the school,
Yeah.
and it's still fun and it's still okay, but it's not the same. And then there's been times when we've been able to go to like a university and we put it on in like one of their big rooms or something, and the kids just think they're looking around. We're like, we're at college, and like it's like amazing, and it's a much more lasting impression, and that's what I wanted to do for our competitors. Like have something that 3 years from now they'll
They're
look
not
back
forgetting that.
and they'll remember that.
Yeah, that was an amazing experience. I
Yeah.
really was. It was almost too much amazing. You know what I mean? It was like, I can't believe we actually like this. This is our space, and there's a rocket ship right in the middle of it, and all this cool museum stuff to explore. And the kids were running around playing with all the different stuff they could explore, and the adults were running around looking at all the cool nerdy stuff you can look at. So there was something for everyone. It wasn't like one of those places where you felt like it was so nice that you couldn't touch anything. It was very it was fun, it was connected, it was playful, the food was great, the service was great, the room setup was great, like all of it. I just think we absolutely blew the rocket thing out of the park. It was great.
I mean, and one of the things to our competitors, to our listeners of the podcast, like, when we're able to get some premier sponsors like we did this year with, some of our big sponsors that came in at a high level, obviously Purina, Lubricin, Blue Nine Pet Products, Hero Disc USA, those are some of Back on Track. Those are some of our biggest ones. You know, I certainly don't want you to say something that's untrue, but if you use these products, if you're thankful for the opportunities that they've given us, like include them in your posts. Later on, if you try out one of their products and you find that it's great, post about it, because they're not just giving us stuff
They
out of the
measure.
kindness of their heart. Like they look at this as a marketing opportunity. They look at this as, if we provide this, we're going to be part of that memorable experience. And hopefully people that enjoy our products will then share that with other people. And that's the way we're going to grow this. That's the way we will be able to do things like go to a rocket, go to a different, whatever it is at the next location. Or to lower our costs for competitors, like to be able to provide things at a lower cost or no cost.
Yeah, they'd be paying $50 a head to go there, to the Rocket Museum, if we didn't have those kind of sponsorships. And
Right.
I don't think those
Exactly.
families are paying $50 a head to go
Right.
to a.
Exactly.
They wouldn't be
So
very happy about it.
all I'm
Anyway.
saying is appreciate our sponsors. If you use their products and enjoy their products, share it, make the posts about it, include them in your posts, hashtag whatever. Right? Did I say that? Hey everybody, I just wanted to pop in here. This has turned out to be kind of a long episode, so we're just going to cut it sort of about the halfway point. I'm going to release this one early, and I also noticed there's a ton of discussion going on the discussion page about the survey, so I just wanted to let you know that I will have part 2 of the Founders Reflections on UpDiv 2025 posted soon. And also, next week, we are going to take a look at all the survey results, and we will have a podcast about the competitors' reflections, including some of those hot topics that are now being discussed on the discussion page. So stay tuned. We will give you our information, our thoughts and opinions about some of the discussions that are going on there. So tune in. Part 2 coming up soon on Tuesday, and then the episode on the competitors' reflections after that. Thanks for listening.